It is a special day, Castle said. We're privileged and blessed to have the Honorable Governor David Ige. Sir, welcome. First Lady Donna Model Ige. Thank you, ma'am, for coming. Director Dr. Libby Char, Department of Health. And our Major General Hara, the Adjutant General of State of Hawaii. We also have Brigadier General Logan, who's our ATAG and the Life Deploying Commander. We have Command Sergeant Major Wigan. Welcome. We also have Colonel Morin from Ross. Welcome. We're humbled to have you here, and sir, we thank you for continuing to make those hard decisions to keep us all safe. On behalf of the men and women of the Castle Smith, we'd like to extend a warm aloha to our civilian guests with the presentation of them. In compliance with COVID-19 protocols, the label will be handed to our guests. When we first started this mission approximately 20 months ago, it seemed as if we stood before a metaphorical mountain, fully acknowledging that COVID-19 was bigger than all of us. Negotiating steep inclines along the way, we quickly learned that level ground can reach mountaintops, and that teamwork was the catalyst of success. So I can confidently inform you that the men and women of Task Force NED have lived up to the motto of Country More, which means working closely together and moving forward, along with our partners with the DOH, supporting the DOH, Dr. Char and her team, the various counties, community partners, in order to protect the state of Hawaii from COVID-19. Our dynamic team of airmen and soldiers continue to remain agile, disciplined, and ready to respond to each mission with little to no notice. We continue to fill the gaps and refine the way we perform their duties, earning the trust and respect of those we serve. I'm going to take you through a slide show. Okay, sure. So right off the bat, we started off with nothing. We talked about building that plane in the beginning. We're going to require training and ready. So with no notice response, here's some of our examples. So you got the contact tracing support. When we got the call from Major General Hara, this team here responded to the DOH and increased their output of contact tracing by 700% in a half a day with a 1 hour break. When we were called to support airport screening with no notice, our entire task force responded within 30 to 40 minutes. And going down to the testing, one that comes out to mind is the volunteer nursing home. The director of nursing at Nursing Model called us and didn't know what to do. She says, "Mark, I'm hopeless. I don't know what to do." And it was like we went out there and met her, gave her comfort, and responded and helped them to mitigate that cluster along with the DOH. Okay, sir. So COVID testing is a big part of our mission. With a finite number of personnel, we work closely with the DOH staff and the state laboratories to perform concurrent missions, ranging from spread transport to the residents' homes to mass testing. Through our ongoing after-action reviews, we got pretty good at this. And we're able to cut our target times by literally 50%. For the 47th minute, think we're doing like 130 minutes. So that was optimal. I think it could be replicated. So our replication proceeded ourselves. Got invited to the UH School of Travel Industry Management to share our planning concepts and ideas and our strategies. We also shared best practices and safe infection control techniques with our community partners. And as you see here, sir, we were pretty much everywhere throughout the state of Hawaii. Okay, sir, so those are not inmates. That's my testing team. Although some of them probably spend more time behind bars than some of the inmates, they maintain their professionalism, sir. You'd be so proud of them. Going in there, hearing their cat calls and unwelcome comments. Our soldiers remain and airmen remain professional and steadfast to the mission, spending hours upon hours within our prison system. The education, sir, we lean forward and offer our community some capability during uncertain times. As you recall, there was a lot of anxiety. Let's go back to the education side. A lot of anxiety, and what we did was we developed a COVID education program. And this training was delivered throughout the state of Hawaii via a virtual platform. It was modified to meet the specific needs of our audience. So we went into the hotels, businesses, schools, charter schools, private schools, and public schools, equating to over 3,120 people trained. We also trained the licensed healthcare workers for the state of Hawaii, the home care operators, and the entire county of Maui and Lanai. It was about 700 people. The input received was really welcome. Dr. Hira presented this brief to the county of Lanai, and you can see all the comments. Like, hey, why couldn't you be this kind of husband? I want a cookie dinner. Things like that. That's COVID education. Community outreaches, sir. Working closely with the DOH, public health nurses, community outreach has linked us to those who need help in the community. We visited the various locations by providing testing, education, vaccinations. Once met with reluctance and distrust, we quickly changed the community's outlook on us, with them embracing us with a feeling of being protected and safe. That's one of the big takeaways, sir. When we initially went out, we saw this uniform, and we just thought of trigger bullets. Fast forward several months down the line, student men and women behind me changed that outfit and are now well respected medical professionals. Sir, at QHCs in Kalihi, Waimanalo, Wahiawa, and Waianae further connected us with our communities, providing vitals, vaccinations, testing, admin support to our underserved communities. The big takeaway here, sir, is it's not only what we did that mattered, it's rather how we treated those we serve that you'll remember about us. Okay, so real quick, sir, here's some vision impact. I'm not going to go over them all, but as I was talking to the first lady, we're doing this field pediatric vaccination mission, and it's such a blessing to see our kids interact with the kids. And the kids, I thought there was going to be a lot of screaming and crying. There wasn't. I was hoping that they were like with the elementary kids would come out and look at their kids and say, hey, I didn't know they used to wear uniform. But they got the shot in their arm and something on their lollipop, wanting to take pictures with their troops. And we also had one fifth grade teacher run down puffing saying they wanted to take a picture. She says, you don't know the impact that these troops had on their students. Well, let's go back one. And so, one other thing, we also maintained our readiness. We conducted a joint operability situation training exercise. And what we did is we deployed a team from Schofield Barracks. We responded in 90 minutes, conducted a decompression exercise, simulating an SNF evacuation, decontamination, and treatment. So again, in the uniform, being a citizen, seeing that saved me a lot of time. Next slide. Okay, so finally, in addition to taking care of our missions, we also do a pretty good job taking care of our community and each other. So we continue to donate to the food bank. We donated to the homeless people at the Cage in the Lagoon. My guidance to them is no cameras, civilian goals. We're doing this from the bottom of our hearts and not for any media exposure. We also have a behavioral health team who monitors the ongoing issues, any situation going on with the Casas and the entire JTF. And that is Achieve Zero, which is a pretty good program, giving back to the community and those we work with. So, sir, subject to your questions, that concludes my speech. Okay. So at this time, I'm going to give the mic over to you. First Lady.
Aloha and good morning. As your Commander-in-Chief, I felt it was very important for me to be able to visit with you, and I just wanted to personally thank you for your outstanding support during the COVID-19 pandemic. I cannot express in words how much I appreciate having access to the Hawaii National Guard and Task Force Medical, especially as the pandemic started and we knew what we didn't know, which was everything. If you can recall 20 months ago when we first started, and the first time I had the opportunity to talk with you, we knew very little about the virus, what its impact, how transmissible it was, and how deadly it was. And certainly, 20 months later, because of all of your efforts, we made significant progress. You provided critical services to the Department of Health, our public health partners, and the county mayors, and the community in general. And I really wanted to have the opportunity to talk with you personally.
Aloha, everyone. I also wanted to take the time to thank you all for all that you've done. I realize that the past 20 months have been extremely challenging, but I'm certain that your efforts saved lives, prevented human suffering, and reduced the spread of COVID throughout our state, which we're all so grateful for. Here on Oahu, and together with the Hawaii National Guard medical support, within the other counties, we completed over 120,000 swabs, almost 6,000 hours of public education, and over 70,000 public vaccination, and this is among many other noteworthy accomplishments. Now, these are statistics, but what it doesn't measure is how you make people feel. In time of crisis and uncertainty, people are scared. I know I was scared, but personally, when I saw the National Guard outside of the state capitol, providing screening outside of Washington Place, and all the other locations we were at, it gave me a sense of reassurance that things would be okay. It gave me a sense of hope, and I'm sure it did for many others.
Clearly, during this pandemic, the state needed your medical expertise, and you all delivered. You provided the Department of Health with the surge capability and capacity to address clusters in our prison system, and I know that many of you have spent many hours there. Clusters in our long-term care facilities and other congregate care facilities. You know, and I it's amazing to me, in most other communities, they are reluctant to activate the National Guard and ask them to step up during this pandemic. And I'm always proud of the fact that your reputation precedes you. Our community expects in a crisis that the National Guard will show up and save the day. And I really wanted to thank each and every one of you for being a part of that. Then Major General Hara is constantly informing us and keeping us and the mayors in all the counties aware of the actions and activities of your joint task force all across the state. Last week on Tuesday, I conducted a joint press conference with the county mayors to announce that the counties will have direct responsibility for emergency management within their respective county and perform emergency management functions. The number one concern raised by the mayors was, is the National Guard going away? Does that mean we're on our own? And I wanted to assure you that we assured them that the National Guard is not going away. Hawaii Emergency Management Agency will continue its statewide coordination and support, and the Department of Health will continue to provide public health guidance and serve as a lead agency for public health and medical services. Our goal now is to manage our healthcare and public health infrastructure and the continued presence of COVID-19 with prudent risk while building that towards a healthier, balanced economy. Therefore, I ordered a gradual off-ramp of the Hawaii National Guard support for the COVID-19 response. We are still requesting support primarily for activities that can't be supported through other partners and contractors around the state. Future approval of requests for assistance will be closely scrutinized. But as you have noted, there is no other organization in the state of Hawaii that can respond to any need or emergency like the National Guard, showing up within hours of being asked to step forward and really provide support for our community. So again, I just thought I really wanted to take this opportunity to personally thank each and every one of you for your commitment to our community, for your delivering services during the most difficult times. And most importantly, what the statistics don't talk about is really the lives of family members and those in our community who really needed your help and support, and you showed up. Dr. Libby Char became the director of the Department of Health at a crucial moment in the state's response to COVID-19. She is an emergency room physician and has vast clinical and administrative experience. And Dr. Char, along with Major General Hara, has been a key member of our COVID response, 19 response all across the country. And I know that she appreciates your efforts as much as I do. And with that, I'd like to invite Dr. Char to say a few words.
Hawaii is a unique state because we have a state Department of Health, but unlike other states, we don't have the county public health. And it's usually the county public health that does the operations. And so the state provides the administrative oversight and guidance and regulatory side of things. And usually it's the county that actually gets in on the ground and does the operational side. And because we lack that, we have several gaps. We have seen responses to many of the COVID clusters, and admittedly, within our department and within our state, we had several of the other variety of clusters as well. And so it's been vitally important that you all are there to help step up and fill those gaps. Together we have vaccinated, tested, tracked, and educated. And I think that has really allowed our states to remain healthy. When you look at the numbers, we have one of the lowest case rates per capita in the United States. We have one of the lowest death rates from COVID per capita in the United States. And I think that really is a testament to us as a community. People refer to it as my Department of Health or the governor's Department of Health, but really it's our Department of Health, it's our community, and it's our Department of Health, and we are all a part of it. As a fellow healthcare professional, I especially appreciate your willingness, your creativity, your ingenuity, and your tenacity in accomplishing mission after mission in an ever-changing landscape. As Colonel Young noted, things were changing all around us. We didn't really know what to expect. We gave our best effort, and there's a good year I thought we often have to make pretty significant decisions based on really incomplete information. And that's pretty much the spirit of what you all did and why we're in such a good place right now. I just wanted to thank you again for what you do. A sincere thanks for the partnership, the support, and the collaboration. Hopefully we can catch a little bit of a breather. We really have eyes on this next variant that's flaring up. I had a conversation this morning with one of the EMS medical directors in South Africa. And we're hoping that this will flare a little bit, but that we will use what we have learned thus far to keep ourselves safe and for this not to become another huge spike in our state. So just once again, I really want to thank you all for all the efforts, all the sacrifices that you've made, everything that we've learned together, and all that you have done for our community. Thank you.
Good morning, aloha, Pastors Medical. I'd like to begin by first thanking Governor Ige, First Lady Donna Manu Ige, and Dr. Char for taking time out of their busy schedules to join us today. You talk about busy schedules. I thought my schedule was busy. I see Dr. Char emailing at 11 at night, 2:30 in the morning. And I wonder when does she get some sleep. But, to be honest, that's the only time you find some downtime to be able to kind of decompress and actually communicate and not be in the line of meetings after meetings, briefing after briefings, and crisis action planning. So that should tell you how important and how much we appreciate all of your achievements, all of your accomplishments, and everything that you do day in and day out. Because I guarantee, when we talk about our mission about saving lives and preventing human suffering, you guys are the decisive operations from the get-go, from your inception. You saved lives and you prevented human suffering. So thank you for that. What I want you to also do, though, is thank your families and your friends. Because besides you sacrificing, they sacrificed on your behalf by holding down the home front, making sure that you could accomplish your mission. I know it's challenging, especially those of you that were behind bars. I hope you didn't get used to being behind there, but like on the other side of the bars. But yeah, I can just imagine going into a prison with criminals and all of the harassment and the unprofessionalism that you experienced there. So thank you for sacrificing. But please tell your families thank you. But that's how I want to close. We talked about you guys being able to rapidly respond to an event. So the governor first appointed me as the incident commander. We did a press conference. I said two things real quick. The first thing I said is that we need to move at the pace of unprecedented crisis. We knew what was coming was something that we've never experienced before, and we need to figure out ways to get through the bureaucracy, rapidly plan, organize, execute, and get after whatever the problem was. And to be able to do that, I said our center of gravity is responsiveness. And to be responsive, you need to identify the needs. And once those needs are identified, Then you organize and resource yourself so the request comes, you're ready to execute immediately. And every single time there's a requirement, not just Task Force Med, but the entire Hawaiian National Guard Joint Task Force was able to respond rapidly. Colonel Young talked about the contact tracing. You know, we were saying, hey, the Guard can do this, the Guard can do this. And they're like, no, we're not going to need you, we're not going to need you. No, you're going to need us. The Guard can do this. So we decided to get trained and ready in anticipation that the requirement would come. And that call came, half a day later, people started showing up to do contact tracing. So that's what responsiveness is about, and that's why you especially have been so successful. So again, thank you. I don't want to eat up too much time. I'm going to recognize a few of the outstanding soldiers and airmen to show you how much we really truly appreciate all of you, and especially those high performers. Thank you.
Major Howard, let's get the candidate identified service comes up.
Sergeant Sakamoto, Sergeant Masuara, Sergeant Watson, Sergeant Harrison, Officers Mason, and Officer Pico.
Okay, so the first person that you're awarding a point to is Airman Jamaica Bennell. A1C Bennell did an outstanding job running operations as an E4 World of Local pay grade. She's done an amazing job since she's been on task force. Second person is Senior Airman Enriquez. Along with her positive attitude, she worked for every mission, testing, education, vaccinations, and whole deal. Senior Airman Jarvis did the same thing. Tech Sergeant Micah Sakamoto, who is a respiratory therapist by trade, came in, stepped in as our NCOIC, did testing team, and worked echelons above the state grade. Tech Sergeant Masuela, again, working well above her pay grades for coordinating and planning on major planning missions. Tech Sergeant Leon Watson. Sir, Sergeant Watson's a cook by trade, and she stepped up as an NCOIC for S1. First Sergeant Patterson served as a first sergeant and team lead for Maui. OC Visitation stepped up as our S4 and S3